Tom. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Tom, I'm so much better now that I'm speaking with the acclaimed sculptor, bassist, composer. But my friend, you are a Renaissance man. I want to know,
Oh, thank you.
Tom, where were you born and when did you realize that you had a love of so many disciplines within the arts?
Well, I'm originally from Philly, Philadelphia, and I moved to San Francisco in the '60s, late '60s, and I don't know. I was just always drawn to music and art, and it just took off from there. I just pursued it as much as I could. You
I love that. Now, talk to me a little bit about specifically sculpting and what you love most about that discipline, Tom.
Well, it's I mostly work in stone, and so it's a hard medium, and you need tools, and I just like I like throwing tools around and heavy stuff, and the real joy is like seeing the finished product, you know. So
Well,
it's
and then the joy that it gives others. I mean, the fact that, specifically with your discipline of sculpting stone, I just
Mhm.
love the dichotomy of the delicacy and the beauty with this very heavy material. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I think so. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm such a firm lover of juxtaposition. And I'm curious, and I've been curious for a few weeks now researching you, where you gain a lot of your inspiration for your sculpting.
Well, it's hard to say, but I like ancient art. I look a lot at archaeological finds and stuff like that. I like ancient art is to me it speaks to me.
Amen. Well, listen, now getting into music,
Mhm.
what was playing in Tom's living room growing up? I just want to know what was the music that inspired you most growing up?
Well, I always liked jazz. Like I'm from Philly, so there's always like jazz in the background, and I like doo-wop music. I like rock and roll, and then when I started, I guess when I got a little older, I started to get into classical music, and started to appreciate that, and got to know a few classical musicians, and was really impressed with their seriousness, and I just love all of it.
I hear you, my friend. Well, listen, jazz is my favorite. You may not know this, but for 25 years, I was a performer. Very grateful. I got to headline Carnegie Hall a few years ago with my twin brother as a singer. But all of the songs that I grew up listening to were jazz and American Songbook and the cats, I like to call the jazz cats. My favorite being selfishly Cy Coleman, but I don't know about you. Do you have a favorite composer or jazz musician?
There's so many,
I
like hard,
know.
like if I say one, I would leave so many out. But Duke Ellington was a great,
Oh,
I think
you
was
can't go
great.
wrong with Duke. And I'm curious also for you, Tom, what you love specifically about the instrument of the bass.
Um, well, I just kind of gravitated towards the low end, I guess. I like those low notes, and I like being a bass player because like you have everything. Like it's sort of like the basis of everything. Not always, but you're the heartbeat, sort of. And usually there's only one bass player, which is so it's all up to you, and so everything that you do, you're responsible for. Where a guitar player, there could be a couple guitar players or whatever, and I don't know, the bass just seems a perfect instrument to me. Although I have to admit, I do like hearing chords, and you can play a limited amount of chords on bass, but I just like those low frequencies, and I like the rhythmic feel of the bass, and the way it fits in with everything.
I love it. I love it. And yeah, I know there's nothing like a great bassist who kind of disappears within the conversation, whether it's a trio or a quintet or, even an orchestra. But at the same time, for me, I love the bass because for me, the bass is the heartbeat of the sucker. But again, that's just me in my singing days. For me, I was always mentally and emotionally and spiritually vibing with the bass to find my rhythm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like that too. I like where the bass is usually is not the center of attention.
Correct.
Right, but in the band, it is.
Correct. That's what I love. See, I love
Yeah.
that it's like it's not really the center, but it is just in essence. And on top of all that, Tommy, my final question for you. Obviously, these past 18 months have been tough for all humans, but especially artists. But I'm curious what you're most optimistic about as we come out of slowly but surely this mess.
Well, it seems that people are finally getting it. The seriousness of it. It's not a hoax, and it's not, passing cold or whatever. It's a real serious situation that I think we're in. And it seems to be that some people are finally getting it. Not enough, but a little bit more.
Amen. Well, Tom, I'm so grateful for your time today. I'm grateful that you're joining FENIX and that this is
Thank you
going to
for
be
having me.
a new opportunity to connect with other artists around the world. And you're fantastic. And I just love how unapologetic you are about your Renaissance man like talents.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tom.
You're welcome, Will. Thanks a lot.